Welcome, everyone. We're delighted you could join us today for this webinar on working in a team in an online master's, offered to you in partnership with our new online master's in innovation and entrepreneurship. My name is Elizabeth Alette, and I am a program advisor here at HEC Paris. I'll be helping to mediate and moderate this session today. I invite you to use the chat box that you've been using, to continue using it throughout this webinar to share your comments and questions with us. I also invite you to take part in the various questions and quizzes which we've embedded in this presentation. So today, Professor Marc Beretta is going to delve into what makes a team successful, both in a face-to-face context, but also in the context of an online master's like ours. But before I hand over to Professor Marc Beretta, I'd just like to present you our institution, HEC Paris. I'd also like to give you a brief description of our online Masters in Innovation and Entrepreneurship program. Then I'll hand over to Professor Marc Beretta. We will also leave time towards the end for Q&A, and I will also give you an overview of how to apply to the program towards the end of this presentation. So for those of you who may not be familiar with HEC Paris, HEC is a very old institution. It was created in 1881, and it has trained top executives and managers in France and throughout the world since its inception. The quality of the education at HEC has further been demonstrated thanks to international independent ranking agencies such as the Financial Times. Each year we train roughly 8,500 executives and managers, and we've been committed to helping them grow their entrepreneurial projects, thanks notably to our Entrepreneurship Center and our incubator. So, we're now launching a brand new online Masters in Innovation and Entrepreneurship in partnership with Coursera. And the aim of this online Masters is to help you acquire the skills and know-how to develop innovative and high potential commercial opportunities, be it in your current organization or company or within a startup context. The program is specifically adapted to professionals working in charge of innovation or in charge of business development, as well as aspiring entrepreneurs. The flexible and fully online format is quite convenient for busy professionals wishing to continue working while studying at their own pace. So, here's a slide with regards to the breakdown of the courses. So the online Masters is composed of 20 classes, which can be broken down into 12 courses in the self-paced section and 8 courses in the project-based section. The first 12 courses can further be subdivided. The first 12 courses can make up the online certificate, which can be taken as a standalone, and can be further subdivided into 3 specializations, which I'll go into further detail about in just a few minutes. On this slide, you'll find the timeline of the program. So the next intake will start on September 25th, 2017, with a new intake starting each month. So if you miss the September 25th deadline, bear in mind that there will be another intake on October 30th. So you will have until June 2018 to complete the self-paced section, and then the project-based section will be, the courses on the project-based section will be made available from June 2018 and will need to be completed by December 2018 in order to graduate. Okay, here I've detailed the courses which will be made available for the first specialization, which is the Scaling Up Specialization. Now, in the specialization, you will develop the skills for scaling up a business, starting from 0 and growing it into a business of roughly 100 employees within tight resource constraints. The next 4 courses of the program comprise the Creativity and Innovation Specialization. So as the name indicates here, we will aim to boost your creativity in this specialization, and you will also learn how to manage new product development in teams. The last specialization, the next 4 courses, are in innovation and entrepreneurial strategy. So in this specialization, we'll focus on business strategy and its importance for innovation. So we'll first define what is business strategy, then help you understand how it applies to innovation, and finally, we'll teach you how it can be used to engage and incentivize employees to be as innovative as possible. The last 8 courses of the online masters are the project-based courses. So here you'll hone your negotiation skills, you'll also gain financial know-how, but most notably, you will work in teams to advance a project from conception all the way through to commercialization within a 6 months period. And during this process, you'll be mentored by a seasoned entrepreneur or business leader. So Professor Marc Beretta will talk a little bit more about this in his presentation in just a few minutes. Now, if you're interested in this online master's, do bear in mind that it will require a workload of roughly 10 to 15 hours of personal work per week. You will also, so 10 to 15 hours viewing videos, submitting quizzes and assignments. You'll also be required to successfully complete 11 proctored exams. So 3 proctored exams in the self-paced section and 8 proctored exams in the project-based section. You'll also need to successfully complete the team project, which I just mentioned. So if I've piqued your interest and if you would like to learn more about our eligibility criteria and how to apply to the program, stay tuned. I will speak more, I will cover these topics at the end of this online presentation. But now let me hand over to Professor Marc Beretta for his presentation. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Welcome to all. I will introduce myself in a while. Just before introducing myself, I've got a question for you. Do you have the perception that hard skills play a major role to manage a team? If you think it's true, put true. If you think it's false, put false. Thank you very much. Let's say 75-25, more or less. 75-25. Thank you very much. I will come back to this in a while. So, let me introduce myself. So my name is Marc Beretta. I am half Irish, a quarter Greek and a quarter Italian, and I was born in France, so I'm French as well. I've got 2 passports, one French and one Irish. I spent 15 years working in finance, and after this, especially in very demanding companies such as Arthur Andersen and LVMH, Louis Vuitton and Hennessy. And after these 15 years working in finance, I realized that what I enjoyed most in finance was people. So I decided to switch from finance to what I've been doing now for more than 12 years, which is executive coaching, team coaching, organization coaching. I started my own company. My company is now based in 10 countries, and we work in 9 languages. I'm working for HEC since 2009 as a professor in leadership and personal development for executives. I will be in charge of team working for this online master. Again, I would like to welcome all of you. The objective of this session is to improve team efficiency within your team today and to give a taste of what OMIE could be. We make the assumption that first you know what is good for you. I don't know what is good for you. Why? Because I don't know your culture, I don't know what's your history, where you're coming from. You know what is good for you. And the other assumption we're making is you are the only one who can make this parallel between courses, videos, team project, the project Elizabeth mentioned a few earlier, and real life. And your role as participants is to make this connection between, again, course, project, and real life. And if you don't do this, no one can do that for you. So it's the way to bring things back home and to learn things. You are, again, the only one who can do that. Team online. If there is a team, there is a project. What is a project? Something to deliver. Of course, good quality on time. And what is a project? You should answer this question: what, why are we doing this? How, when? Who is taking part of it? How much money? How much energy? How much people? How much whatever? Limits and risk, of course, and KPIs. You would be, or you would leave this session or this project happy if. And as a professor, I make sure that all these projects have at least all these questions. At least for the leaders, they have this in mind. Team, people, common interests, shared rules, and of course you should be demanding and mindful. And online, this means that you're not connected face-to-face, but it's more connected by internet and by our webinars, Skype, or whatever. So this is the scope of what we'll see today. I've got another question for you. For this question, I would like you not to think in theory, but I would like you to come back to your memories and what you have experienced in teams. My question to you is, what makes a successful team a not successful team? So we prepared some questions here for you. Some answers, sorry. So do you think it's a question of poor time management, openness, thinking you are right? So what's your perception? Thank you very much. So number one, thinking you are right. I like that. Number two, poor time management. Okay, great. And well, maybe 10% said none of these. Thank you. I've worked in many companies around the world. I'm working on 4 continents on a regular basis. I'm professor here at HEC. I'm working for executive MBAs for such a long time. And I would like to share with you my experience of not successful teams. What comes first is, sorry to tell you that, none of the above. What comes first is, we did not take the time to know better ourselves. In other terms, I don't like you because I don't know you. If we could spend some time meeting, chatting together, maybe we won't spend holidays together, but maybe I can understand the way you're working. So this is what we're doing in team building. In team buildings, we're doing this to know each other better. It's an investment. Believe me, it's an investment. And so this is what we would like you to do in this online master. Get connected as quickly as possible and try to know each other, because you won't regret it. Number one, we didn't take the time to better know each other. Number two, we didn't listen to each other. Listening is a key. Listen to each other to fully understand what is behind the question. There is what is explicit, but there is also what is implicit, what I will not share with you. Listen carefully. I would like to share this with you. I'm working for a top German company today for a board of directors, and this very famous company around the world. And this company told me, Marc, we realize that we don't listen to each other within our board of directors. And while you're speaking, I'm thinking of my answer. I'm not listening to you. And because we realize that we're doing this among us, we probably do this with our customers. So please, Marc, teach us how to listen to each other. So listening is absolutely a key. Make your expectations as explicit as possible. If you start this kind of seminar or this kind of online masters, what are you looking for? Fame, money, self-awareness, know yourself better. What would you do? You expect good grades? What would you expect? What would you expect? Most of the time, not successful teams, they realize that they are not teams at all. They are groups of individuals. So they have individual ambitions, they have no common vision. They stick to I am right, you know, this kind of attitude. And if you stick to I am right attitude, especially in the world today, which is changing so fast, you can be in a very difficult situation. Poor time management. Last but not least, ask for help when it's necessary. You're not the world experts in all domains, so ask a lawyer, ask a friend, ask a teacher, ask a participant, ask for help when it's necessary. So this is what I learned, this is what I would like to share with you. This is what I learned from not successful teams. So again, I asked not successful team, what were you not successful? And these are the answers. Thank you very much for that. Now I've got another question for you. Again, not in theories, I would like to come back to you. I would like you to come back to your memories. And the question is, what makes a successful team a successful team? So we propose some options for you. Knowing each other, listening to each other, good communication, none of the above, and, or I don't know. Thanks very much. Thank you. So number one, good communication. I would say I'm not surprised. Good communication is a key. However, this is not what comes first. So none of the above, 10%, probably these people are right. So what comes first? Again, this is my experience. Working in all these countries, meeting successful teams, I'm asking them, what makes you that successful? What comes first is trust. We can trust each other. Why this is so important? Because if I trust, I won't spend all my time to make sure that I will survive tomorrow. I will focus on what I should do and what I have to do. I will focus on my task. Trust is crucial. How to build trust in a team? Do what you say. Say what you do. Easy. Not that easy to do, easy to say. But at least try to do it. If you should deliver something within next week, try to do it. Try to build trust. Do what you say and say what you do. It's true online, it's true face-to-face. Of course, listen, reformulation, make sure that I fully understand what you were just speaking about. Mutual respect, of course. Learning, understanding the others. In other words, accepting the difference. I know so many people that say, I accept the difference, but at the end of the day, they don't accept the difference. Really accept the difference. Most of the time, in psychology, we say that what I like in you is what I like in me. Something I'm not very comfortable about you is something I'm not comfortable about me. Otherwise, it won't upset me. So most of the time, not always, but most of the time, I am or I like people who are just like me. And people who are very different, they're a bit weird. They're not weird, they're different. Accept differences. Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes it's not that easy. It doesn't mean that you should accept everything, but accept the way that people can be different from you. This is what I would like to say. Solidarity, which means that if one of you in a project, has a young baby child and he's crying all night and say, well, 2 days without sleeping, okay, we'll take care of that. Next week you will recover, but today and tomorrow we'll take care of that. So this is solidarity. Ability to express needs when it's necessary. When you have needs, express them. If you're the only one who is expressing your needs, no one can know. So make things as explicit as possible. If possible, of course. Ask the permission. John, may I share something with you? Yes? Okay. And go for it. Ask permission for it. And if John says yes, go for it. And John says no, okay. I will wait for a more appropriate time to share this with you. Express needs. Again, be careful of cultures. It's absolutely true in Americas, absolutely true in Western countries, in Asian countries. I would say it's more, subtle. Be careful not offending people. So try to know the people before expressing what you need. Try to know them better. This would be my advice. Of course, necessity to go out from your comfort zone. Put on different glasses, because you've got your own glasses, I've got my own glasses. Openness, sense of humor. When I start working for a company, I'm assessing their level of sense of humor. If there are no sense of humor, I'm very scary, because, sometimes this can be very tricky, very, very tricky. So keep, if possible, of course, if possible, keep sense of humor and be demanding and mindful with yourself and with the others. Thank you very much for answering these questions. I would like to come back to my inclusion exercise about hard skills. From my experience, hard skills are not even mentioned. Why? Because hard skills don't make the difference. Soft skills do. This is what we show. Soft skills do. So, working in a team online, I would like to share with you something, a few, I would say, highlights, or I would like to highlight a few topics with you. One or two things, or three things you should know. One is inclusion. What is inclusion? I shared, this is what we started with. Remember the question about hard and soft skills at the very beginning. I'm doing this to include all of you. No matter where you're coming from, what your mood today, sunny, cloudy, rainy, whatever, it's your rights. But we all answer the same question. A good question could be, how are you today? And everyone takes one, that's it, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes to answer this. That's it. This is absolutely crucial. Why? Because everyone is included within this team. Inclusion. Just try it. Try it. So inclusion, it's one question. you start at the very beginning to make sure that everyone is included. From my experience, it makes the difference. Just try it. Why inclusion? Because to answer one of the items we saw on not successful and successful team. Number 2, vision. Share a common vision about your project, about your expectations, about what you want to achieve together, about your common values, common vision, common ambition, common mission. Share this. Make things as explicit as possible. Because if you don't do that, the risk is I cannot be included in your team. So vision, you should co-share and co-build a vision. Very easy. If you had a magic wand, what would you do with our project in 2 weeks' time, 5 weeks' time, 5 months' time, whatever? Co-share this and try to build something around that. Why vision? To come back to not successful and successful teams, what we saw beforehand. 3, charter. I believe in freedom, but I believe in freedom if there are rules. If there is no rule, from my perspective, there's going to be freedom. So what are rules for projects, especially online projects? Okay, should we start on time? Should we finish on time? If one of us is late, what we will do? Should we wait for this guy? Should we start working? What is crucial for us as a team? Is it, again, grades? Is it to achieve something? Is it to start a real business? Is it to train? Is it share? Share common rules. And draft your charter. Charter is very short. I like efficiency. Very short. 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. That's it. And everyone can sign this charter. Again, from my experience, it works. Just try it. Once you know that, so why charter? Because to come back to not successful and successful items we saw earlier. So this way we covered not successful and successful items. Once you know things, do. Most of the time when I'm coaching CEOs, people tell me, oh, I know that by heart. So my feedback is, okay, may I challenge you? Yes, okay, good. If you know it, do it. If you know things and you don't do it, you are wasting your time. If I know that smoking is not good for me, probably I should stop smoking. Once you know, do. Otherwise, you waste your time. I know that it's not that easy, I know it's not that easy, but this is your challenge. This is your challenge in a training system. This is your challenge, if I may, in your life, at least in mine. First thing you should do is build trust. How to build trust? Very easy. Do what you say and say what you do. Again, easy to say, not easy to do. Just try it. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. Just try to do it. Feedback. Share feedback. Ask permission. John, may I share feedback with you? Don't say, you were aggressive because blah, 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 because you're judging the person. In English we say, use I language. So, John, may I share something with you? Yes? Okay. Yesterday I felt some aggressiveness because blah, blah, blah. I felt, use I language. Because you're not judging the person, you're sharing your perception of the world, you're sharing your feedback. Do this. Ask permission, because sometimes it's not the appropriate time. But when it's the appropriate time, just do it. To make the team and the online team better and better again. And assess your teams. How assessing your teams? Try to do this maybe once a week, maybe it depends, or once, it depends on the scale of time. But try to assess performance, try to assess team spirit. Both, not one or the other, try to do both. Why to do that? Just to make sure that we're moving in the right direction. One, I know myself. Once I do what I know. B, this is leadership. Sometimes I have the question, what is to be? My answer is, just be. And only the way you are, I can feel the kind of leader you are. I can feel that. Without saying a word, I can express that. I have this sensation about you, this perception. This is authentic leadership. How to do that? Work on your ecology. What is your ecology? Make sure that you take care of yourself. You manage your time for yourself. I just want to share this with you. Last week I was on holidays, but I decided to work 1 hour a day. Only 1 hour a day. It was so effective. You cannot believe that. Only 1 hour a day. It was wonderful. And the rest of my time I was just relaxing. And so this is bad news for you, Elizabeth. I will work 1 hour a day at HEC from now on. No, I'm kidding. So ecology, stop running all the time. Stop running all the time. Become what we call a reflective leader. Stop at least once a week. Take a meeting and have a meeting with yourself. Think about yourself. What I've done successfully, what I've not done successfully, and what I can improve. Improve. Think of your values. Think of your drivers. Think of that. Self-awareness is competence number 1 to become a leader today. Know, do, be. If we want to sum up, know. Once I know, do. Otherwise, you waste your time. Once you know, once you do, be. Another key message I would like to share with you is this one. This is A, and I want to go to B. Most of the time, we've got the perception that the right way of doing it is just going straight forward. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes it's better to do that way. Why? Because it's the way you will get inspiration. You're not inspired when you're working. You get inspired when you walk outside, when you go to the museum. I would like to share a story with you. I'm working with an international company. The directeur général, the manager director of this company, he told me, I'm working like a crazy. I'm working so hard. But one Friday out of 2 afternoon, I am going to the museum. If I'm not doing that, I die. This is when I can get inspired. I need to do that. This is crucial for me. So this is to come back to your ecology. Find your right ecology. Sometimes go to outside for a walk. Spend some time with your family, with your niece, with your cousins. Sport activities. Walking outside, enjoying life. Walking is good. Too much is too much. Be careful, take care of yourself first. Last message I would like to share with you is be present. When people are speaking to you, be present to them. When you're speaking to me, I can tell you, when I'm coaching people, I am 100%, not to say 110% with you. I can listen to what is explicit and to what is implicit. Why? Because I'm there. I am with you. And if you want to understand the way they're working, ask questions and listen. I would say this is the new way of build collective intelligence, and the new way of leadership is ask questions. Don't stick to I'm right position, because you're going nowhere, especially today. And especially if you're working in an online project. Ask questions. Focus and care. Team, it's about project. Of course, we're looking for efficiency, but we're looking for good relationship as well. So this is the scale. It's not one or the other, it's one and the other. So this is the scale. I'm here. Good. Not too bad, but probably I should work a bit more on efficiency. I should deliver more on time. I should be more demanding with myself, etc. I'm here, not too bad, but probably I should work a bit more on relationship. So it's not demanding or mindful. It's demanding and mindful. Conclusion. I would like to share with you my strong belief. My strong belief is small changes can make a big difference. You won't start this online master to work to change from blue to yellow to green to whatever. If you're blue is a nice color. But are you dark blue? Are you bright blue? Are you silver blue? Try to find out what kind of blue you are and to try to make some changes. And these small changes can make a big difference. So this is my belief, and I would like to share this with you. Small changes can make a big difference. It depends on you. The objective of this session was to improve team efficiency in your team today. Probably you took one or two things. And to give a taste of OMIE. Why? Because we build on experience. We share real examples. And we explain why. And we try to include everyone on board. So time has come for you to ask any questions you've got, and I will be completely at ease. If I don't know, I will tell you, I don't know. Very easy. So, I have a question here from Jérôme. We are dealing here with personal behaviors. What is the importance of management, giving direction, organization? So maybe I can answer this question first. Yeah, I agree with you. We're dealing with personal behavior because from my experience, this is what makes the difference. However, I see giving directions, so this is what I shared with you a bit later on, about vision, having a common vision, a goal, a common objective, common ambition, and organization, defining roles. Make sure that roles are well defined, especially online, because you won't see each other in 1 week, 2 weeks. So define roles. So I agree with you. Personal behavior important. Direction, objective, yes. And organization, define roles, absolutely yes. I hope I answered. If not, just let me know. Leo asked a question. Will there be a highlight of details specific to online teamwork? So far, this is very good, but generate advice. Very good question. I was expecting this question, to tell you the truth. I've been working online for, let's say, more than between 2 and 3 years now, on very regular basis. I'm coaching individual, I'm coaching teams, and I know how teams are working in online. And I can tell you, everything I shared with you are good in face-to-face. They are more important in online matters. Why? Because we don't see each other. And if we want to build trusts, we should walk the talk, share feedback, sometimes organize session only for feedback, feedback session, let's say half an hour. Don't spend too much time, just to express what is necessary. And if I have a problem with John, maybe I have an online connection only with John, but not with the whole team. And everything we covered, you know, about vision, absolutely true is in online. And I would say it's even more true online than real teams. Maybe something I can share. This is to tell you the truth. I would like to share with you what is behind the scene. For starting this session at 3 o'clock, we started Paris time. We started at 3 o'clock sharp today. We connected each other 2 hours before, just to make sure that everything works. I listen, no, I cannot listen. I can hear, no, I cannot hear. Microphone is working, no, microphone is not working. Just to test that. So my advice, strong advice, is if you start at 10 o'clock in the morning, the connection, this is what I'm doing when I'm coaching people. My advice is try to connect a quarter of an hour before, 15 minutes before. Once the connection is done, do something else, and then come back on time. This way you can ensure that you can be on time. From my experience, when you're working in a team and you're waiting for John, and John is always late, it's very, very, very painful for you, for the team, for the performance, for the atmosphere, for the spirit. So try to be more on time than face-to-face. In some cultures, you can arrive a bit late, which is okay. In online, you cannot anymore. So you should start on time and finish on time. So this is what we'll try to do today. Any other questions before something else I would like to share with you? Anything else you'd like to share with me, or any? So Renato, I enjoyed the presentation. Thank you very much. At times, what is highly efficient or good relationship in the eyes of someone is not as efficient in the eyes of others. The scale and the measure of achieving what is good is not easy to measure. Renato, I fully agree with you. So my advice is not one, is it easy? No, it's not easy. The question is not is it easy or not? The question is, can you do it? So now comes another question is, how to do it? Probably just ask, what is efficiency for you? So in a scale of from 1 to 10, what's your perception about by the way, this is something I recommend you as a team. You can do this in an online team project as well. Put a scale and from 0 to 10 and ask, what about our efficiency? Do you think it's 0? Do you think it's 10? Do you think it's 9? And just say why. The important is not the grade or the grade you will put. What is important is why. What is performance for you? So to come back to your question, Renato, is highly not easy to find what is efficient. Just ask. And this could be a good inclusion exercise. So you would be happy if, and just try to, everyone can start answering this question. Share what is efficiency for you. So this is what I would recommend for you. So this would be my answer. And I will take the very last question because time flies and we will finish on time. In the case that the individual performance are very unbalanced due to distinctly different backgrounds, how to make the team still successful particularly? Very good question again. So I would like to thank you very much for your questions. Very good. My answer is be demanding, and especially online, because online you can say, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. If this is our objective, we keep an eye on our objective, but I can be flexible on means. Okay, but my objective is my objective. If we have to deliver this within 2 weeks, we have to deliver this within 2 weeks. So, how to, depending on culture, again, feedback. Feedback is a key. And by the way, Eric Berne, who is the founder of transactional analysis, said that feedback is crucial. It's a way of feeling alive. If you don't share feedback with me, I don't feel alive. So this is why I would like you to share something back. I hope you answer. I hope you answer your questions about tools, online tools. Maybe I can come back to this question afterwards. I would like really to take some time for you to take some time because I really want to finish on time. Our approach, we try to walk the talk. Again, we're not perfect, but we try to do it. For example, I started the session by an inclusion exercise to make sure that everyone is included. We explain the reason why we're doing this. We share with you what is behind the scene, and we use real examples. And believe me, you will be at the heart of it. We adapt to each team because you're different. And because you're different, we adapt. Your takeaways, I will let you 1 minute, just you for yourself. This is what I'm doing with my course. This is the most important part of this session, is you with yourself. What will you take home? 1 or 2 things. If you don't do that, again, you waste your time. It's to make the connection between course and your real life. Just think of it. I won't speak. I will leave you quiet. Just 1 minute. Think of it. It can be only 1 word, 1 idea, only 1 thing. If you want to share, you can share. If you don't want to share, you don't want to share, which is absolutely fine. That's okay. Everything is okay. It's so nice to be quiet. So nice. No, do be excellent. Very good. Thank you very much. Previous slides, you are not supposed to answer, but just to give you a feedback, 1 word you would like to share with me. 1 word, 1 perception, 1 feeling about this session, about you as a leader, you as a team, project leader, as online, whatever. What 1 or 2 words you would like to share with me or with us? Clarity, challenge. Very good. Very good. Well, excellent. Self-confidence, yes, I agree with that. Share and listen, yes. Happy, yes, be happy. I like that. Excellent, very good. I see what Renato said. Online will actually require more personal commitment than a face-to-face. I fully agree with that. Fully agree with that. Clarity, challenge, passion. Excellent. I will give the floor to Elizabeth. So thank you very much for attending this session. And Elizabeth will have 1 or 2 slides to share with you. And she has some questions for us just to share your feedback. Please fill in these questions because this is very important for us. I give you the floor. I wish you all the best. And my final word is be, and if possible, be happy. We don't hear you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, are you with us? Elizabeth? I'm not sure your microphone is on. Can you double check that?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Apologies about that. Sorry, I was connected to the wrong microphone. So thank you for your great presentation, Professor Beretta. That was wonderful, and I think we got a lot of great advice that can be used both in a face-to-face setting but also in a digital setting, and especially in the scope of this online master's. So as I promised, what I'd like to do now is run you through our eligibility criteria and our admissions process. So if you're interested in joining us, here are our admissions criteria. So participants who are welcomed onto the program are participants who have onto the online master's program are participants who hold at least a bachelor's degree, who also have at least 5 years of professional experience, and of course are proficient in English. Now, if you have a project, an intrapreneurial or entrepreneurial project in line with this program, then of course that is a benefit, but it's not mandatory, not like the other 3 criteria which I just outlined. So the application is an online application. You can go on our website, and I'll share the website with you in the next few slides. So this is the application process for the online master's. What you'll need to do is complete 7 essays of roughly a paragraph to a paragraph and a half long. You'll also need to submit 2 letters of recommendation, as well as an English test if you're not a native English speaker or if you have not obtained a diploma from an Anglo-Saxon university. And finally, you will need to attach a 3-minute video pitch explaining why you would like to join this online master's and why we should select you as well. So we work on a rolling admissions basis. We have intakes. The next intake, the first intake, is going to start on the 25th of September 2017. If you would like to be considered for this first intake, then I recommend you apply, you submit your online application by today, midnight, Paris time. Otherwise, our next application deadline will be Wednesday, September 11th, and participants who apply by that date will be considered for the following intake starting on October 30th, 2017. Now, if you don't have a bachelor's degree, 5 years of professional experience, or if your English level is maybe below the requested 850 on the TOEFL exam, then we advise you to start with the first 12 courses, to start with the online certificate. Or you could also start with one of our 3 specializations. So for instance, you could start with scaling up and then build on that and then continue on with the online master's a few months afterwards. Okay, so as promised, here are the links to our two websites in order to apply both to the online masters, so on the on the left-hand side, and to the online certificate on the right-hand side. You can visit the website exised.hec.edu and then browse or navigate to the left-hand side of the screen and type online masters. And then you'll land on these pages. Okay, and of course, if you would like to touch base with us, if you have further questions which we've been unable to answer in this webinar, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can contact either myself or my colleagues Miranda Peterson or Maria Stamatovic on the email addresses and phone numbers listed here. Voila. I hope we've been able to answer your questions. I hope you've enjoyed this webinar, and we very much look forward to having you next time for another webinar. We're going to sign off in just a few minutes, but just one last thing. If you have a few minutes, we ask that you kindly answer the satisfaction poll at the end of this webinar. Thank you once again for your attendance.